vocabulary. No two speakers of a language have equal competence in the use of their language. That is, no two persons use language the same way. One must be more or less competent than the others, and that brings us to the concept of vocabulary. Vocabulary refers to the totality of words that a speaker knows and can use effectively. It is the sum of words that a speaker has acquired over the years of their exposure to a language. These words are then stored in a reservoir in the mind such that, any time the need for any of them arises, it can easily be retrieved. Although the ability of the mind to retrieve stored words can be influenced by a number of factors such as stage fright, impromptu speeches, fear, etc. Vocabulary is like a container where all the words a speaker learns or acquires are stored for future use. Kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel if you're getting valuable information from this video to support me. Also share this video with your friends and loved ones who might be interested. Vocabulary is influenced by a number of factors, namely, region. Before anything, what we know as a people is largely influenced by the society we find ourselves in, because it forms our first sphere of contact. People who live in distinguished areas where rich, affluent and influential persons live, are more likely to have a wider vocabulary compared to those who live in slums, poor and underdeveloped areas. Education. The level of education a person attains is a major factor that influences their vocabulary. Take for instance, a college graduate will have a wider and more proficient vocabulary than a kindergarten student, or a junior school student. Likewise, a university graduate or an educated working class person will have a wider vocabulary compared to a college graduate. Also, the educational institution a person attends can influence their vocabulary to a wide extent. For example, a student at Harvard University may have a wider and more distinguished vocabulary compared to a student in a university that is not as developed and well-equipped as Harvard. Socioeconomic status, just like education, social status also plays a crucial role in influencing a person's vocabulary. People in a higher socioeconomic class, upper middle class, etc. are likely to have more refined and robust vocabulary compared to people in their lower class. For example, top CEOs in the world like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Donald Trump will have a wider vocabulary compared to market traders who are usually not as educated as they are. Exposure. The level of exposure a person has can, to a large extent, influence their vocabulary. People that are predisposed to tourist activities and often engage in educational activities, attending seminars, symposiums, talk shows, etc. Or people that actively listen to podcasts of well-educated and vast individuals, watch educational videos more frequently, are likely to have a more refined and robust vocabulary than people who do not engage in these activities. There are two main types of vocabulary. Active vocabulary. Active vocabulary refers to the vocabulary that you know and use on a whim. That is, the total stock of words that you use in your day-to-day activities and interaction with people. It forms the totality of words that are at your immediate disposal, such that you would not require rigorous rumination to be able to retrieve those words from your reservoir. These words are used on impulse, and mostly in spoken conversation with people. Such words are there, following, good morning, where is it? Thank you, etc. Just like no two persons have equal competence in the use of language, people's active vocabulary can differ to a wide extent. Passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary is the total stock of words that a person knows and uses for specific purposes or occasions. These are the words that are used in more formal situations like essay writing, formal letter writing, business proposals, research works, presentations, public speaking, debates, etc. Unlike active vocabulary, which contains words that are used in informal situations like conversation with peers, relatives, etc. Some examples of words that are contained in a passive vocabulary may include, subsequently, in lieu of, in other words, more so, etc. Again, the passive vocabulary of individuals can differ since no two persons have equal competence in the use of language. So vocabulary is simply an aggregate of words a person knows and can use either actively, that is, in informal contexts, or passively in more formal contexts. It is influenced by a number of factors which vary the wideness of vocabulary from person to person, since no two persons have equal competence in the use of language.